Hello comedians, welcome back to another episode. Record your ideas when an idea pops up. Even if it's not that funny, you still want to record it because you can make it funny later on in your writing session, which I'm going to address right now. You have this funny punchline or idea written down and you're in this writing session. I want you to write it down, and now you're going to work from that position backwards. So what scenario would happen just before you've come to this punchline, or just before you've come to this idea? Whatever way you're going to finish this piece of material, what would you be doing or thinking, or where would you be just before this has happened? And I want you to fill in the gaps and create that story, and of course make it humorous. And then once that's done, I want you to go further back. And the more you can go further back with writing funny jokes and funny stories of how you came to be in this position, you'll notice, just like the steps of a ladder, you will start to have more and more sections. If you are enjoying the content on this video, please do hit that like button. It really helps out the video and the channel, and I, of course, as always, will be eternally grateful. Hit that button right now. And your funny joke that you thought on the street becomes the punchline to this entire bit. It's a great way of knowing that you have a funny finish. Really adds confidence to your writing. So you know, even if a joke doesn't work down here, now of course you can always take it away, but you know you're going to hit them with the gold joke right up here at the very end, where it does matter most. Your punchline to the entire bit needs to be really strong, if not stronger than all of the jokes that go before it. You do not want to get the biggest laugh of the routine just before you deliver that final blow. You want to save that kind of reaction for the very final thing you say on stage. Certainly, you should constantly be writing as funny as you can. So you might find that there's a better funny punchline to be said after all this material is written. So this might be rewritten, and that is the secret to great comedy. If you can rewrite your jokes and they are funnier as a result of rewriting them, then you have stumbled on something really truly funny, because it's not true that we just go on automatic when we are writing. The goal to great joke writing is to write way more than we are going to need to say on stage. We can't just choose the only jokes we have. We need to choose the best jokes we have. So if you want to deliver material on stage talking about jobs, then you need, in your writing session, to be writing down all the different types of jobs there are, and you need to be creating punchlines and funny short stories for all of these individual jobs. The more writing you do, the better. If you want to talk about relationships, religion, politics, nature, fitness, all the topics, the more you want to discuss on stage, the more you need to do the writing at home or in the cafe. You do need to be writing all those different types of ideas you have on the topics, all of the opposing opinions of those topics, because there's a lot of humor to be got from people who have the opposite opinion of it is that we love, or it is that we do day to day. What type of protest do they have against the things we love? We need to be opening up our horizons and visions to seeing as much material about this one topic as we possibly can, and creating punchlines based on those opinions we've now written down. So you can see, by taking one very simple idea, for example a job title, and writing all of the stereotypes a person would have about that job title, regardless of not if you believe in them. It doesn't matter. It can be from a different person. You could be only describing a different person's perception on stage. You don't have to agree with what you're saying on stage. Funny can come from anywhere, and it's up to you to create as fictional as a world as you want. Now, if you want to be the kind of performer who only talks about what you agree, well then that's fine, because there's still an infinite number of places you can go in order to be funny. But the point here is to write down all of the different lists and opinions and places we can, and perspectives we can come from on this one point of view, and then write down the punchline and the funny parts. So when you're in your writing, you can have a library of funny content to put into your material rather than just sitting there and thinking, what's funny about this? The funny should be done over here on a different section, so when you go and create your masterpiece that you're going to say on stage, you already have more than enough great material of jokes to choose from to put in there, so it's fun to you. Otherwise, you're going to stress yourself out, because if you write automatic and everything you write is to be said on stage, it's not going to work, because you might write one great line and then where do you go from there? You're only going to stress yourself out because you can't think of a funnier joke, and that's not how great content gets made. You write so much material that the majority of it may not ever be said on stage. Only the best of the best from what you can create is going to be said on stage. So write more than you think is necessary every single time you go and write down. It doesn't matter if halfway through the punchline you don't think it's worth anything. Continue and keep writing and see where it goes. And if it sits in your notepad for 6 months, fair enough, because there might come a time when you look back at that line and think, wow, there's something in that now based on where my material is at the moment. So throwing jokes away is not the solution here. And that's why another thing to do is write with a pen on paper and keep your journals, keep your papers, even if you have to store them somewhere under the bed or in the cupboard for 6 months or a year. Don't throw them out, because there's goodness to be had from them. Every time you go back to them, there is more stories and more jokes hidden in that material that you just haven't uncovered yet. And each time you go back to that writing, you'll be able to bring it into your material you're writing today, and you might even be able to make it current. So a joke doesn't really die, and just because it never saw the stage, it doesn't mean it's doomed forever. You can bring it out of that old notebook and put it into your new writing. And that's why writing on paper is way better than writing on your computer, because after a while on the computer you have a little bit of a cleaning phase and you might just delete all of your old material because, oh, I'm never going to use it anyway, and just get rid of it. It's not the right thing to do, because there is some valuable content to be had within there. Another funny thing to do in joke writing is to show two contrasting ideas and connect them in your own humorous way. So it could be something as simple as you say on stage, going to the gym is a lot like going to church. And of course there's no similarities there, but you are going to create a way in which they can be similar, and there is lots of humor to be had within that, especially if you successfully manage to connect the two in a way that the audience can only go, oh, I never thought about it that way, and there's a obvious fantasy, fictional, humorous tone underneath what you're trying to say. So think about two contrasting things you do day to day or in your work life that you might be able to connect in your creative writing. And of course, this also goes back to the list of all of the different perceptions we have based on the things that we do day to day, especially from other people's point of view and the stereotypes. This is where they come into it. Are there some similarities between the stereotypes based on your position on different things? Maybe that's an easy stepping stone for you to think. So always think about your comedy writing from someone else's point of view, even if you have to make that person up and make them as fictitious as you possibly can. And you could put whatever opinions that you want on this person. They can be so clearly made up, because all you're trying to do here is come from a way that gets you creatively thinking. So two contrasting ideas and connect them together, and that will be humorous. So you're really trying to follow these bizarre techniques in order to find the funny bone in your writing. Now, I haven't given you much examples on this video, and there's reason I haven't done that, and this is it. I want you to research the examples from yourself. All you have to do is type in jokes into Google and millions will turn up, and very, very quickly you'll notice that there is a style that appears throughout every sort of joke, with contrasting ideas connecting them, or with a punchline coming out of nowhere at the very end. So a hooking story and a punchline coming out of nowhere at the very end. This video here today was only giving you a few ideas on how to go about thinking about these ideas for your comedy writing session. But the kind of examples all exist out there, and you need to research the type of jokes and the type of material you want to tell. It wouldn't be correct for me to tell you what examples you should be writing, because this is a theory video, as most of my videos are, if not all of them are. They're my opinions on what theory should work for you. In order to actually write, you need to research and find out what style you want to do. So that's why some of you might be thinking I haven't given you examples, and that's why I do not want to tell you what to say. I'm only going to hopefully point you in the direction of how to go about saying it, and a few ideas of how to unleash some creativity when you are in your next writing session. So as a real stripped down basic video on joke writing, I hope this has served its purpose, and I hope you will grab a paper and pen and get writing some lovely jokes. And remember, if you take anything from this video, it's to write more than you're going to need. I will say this line again: you shouldn't be picking the only jokes you have, you should be picking the best jokes you have. So get writing, and get writing some more. And when you're done with that, look back over them all and rewrite them, because they can all be that little bit funnier. As always, thank you for watching this video, and if you want to join and become a member of this channel, you can do so and help out in the absolute best way you possibly can, and it goes to the production of all of these videos every single week. You become a member, and the information on how to do so is in the description box. Click any of the links you have seen on your screen, and from me, I will see you on the next video. Right on.